You holding the phone like it's like an old person controlling the phone. Though.
Hello,
Small.
hello.
It's a
When it's
small
like
phone.
that, because you got it's a small phone. Okay.
Yes, I mean it's a 6.
That seems to be the trend now. It seems like at least Apple is sort of going back to smaller phones.
Is the new 12 small?
Well, don't they have like small versions of it or something?
They have the SE. They have the SE, which is like
yeah.
the little brick phone.
You see a little brick phone.
That's what the SE looks like.
Yeah, but you know how like the trend though for a time, like with Samsung in particular, you was doing the big ass tablet phones and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see those are coming out anymore.
Have you seen the one that looked like a little compact, like little glass case for ladies? It's like a flip phone, but it's like a little.
I was about to bring that up. Like, they trying to bring back the flip phones and stuff too.
Yeah, I have seen that. I mean, I don't know how successful those are going to be. I would like to see one in person though, because like, okay, if you open it up, how smooth is the glass? You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how smooth is the screen? Whatever. How smooth is it? Because obviously it has to have some type of, you know what I'm saying, the slit in it. So I would like to see one in person to see how it looks though.
I don't know. I was gonna go off a slit for a second there, but I'll leave it alone.
What you munching on, Dave?
Apple. Yeah.
The what?
Apple.
Oh, Apple. Oh.
Yeah.
Getting that good caffeine.
All right, let's get.
Apple had caffeine in it.
Apple has just as much. I don't know if it's like caffeine technically, but it's just like drinking a cup of coffee. One apple is like drinking a cup of coffee. It gives you that boost. Mm-hmm.
There's something in an apple that equates.
Yeah, boost. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think it's caffeine though.
It ain't caffeine. It's not caffeine, but it's something in it. I don't know what it is. I don't know exactly the term.
Sugar?
Well, what's the natural sugar in the fruit? Is it still just called sugar?
Sucrose? I don't know.
Yeah, whatever it is, it give you a little boost.
Let me see if I look.
Both is fiber and make you go to the toilet.
Well, I know about the fiber. I didn't know about the
right
boost. It doesn't give me a boost. I mean, the fiber I can see, but the boost, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Right, go ahead.
Let me see. Well, that makes me think of the Simpsons episode where they crossbred tobacco and a tomato.
I think I remember that one. I think I remember that one.
And then animals ended up eating the tomato and it made them go all crazy.
Oh man, I've been wanting to watch the Simpsons.
Same episode.
I've been wanting to watch the Simpsons lately because I've been hearing they've been on a roll with the whole election thing. But I need to, because I don't think, do they put new episodes of the Simpsons on Disney Plus? I don't think they do, right?
No, they don't put new episodes right away, but the new seasons they put them like when the season ends, they put them out on stream.
Okay.
But Disney Plus does have all the seasons leading up to this one.
Oh, nice. Current. Okay, cool. All
right. This is what it says. The Suffolk County Family Health, Cornell University. Okay. Are apples better than coffee? Apples contain no caffeine, but instead have about 13 grams of natural sugar. These sugars provide a similar response to caffeine because vitamins from the apple are released slowly throughout the body, making you feel more awake.
Yeah.
Unlike caffeine, there are no jolts, mood swings, anxiety, jitters, or the dreaded crash. So, it's a better source of similar things to coffee.
So, Dave, you're going to be up running around like crazy. Get the girls so they
he needs it.
I know, right?
You should have been eating apples all those nights we went out to the club instead of drinking a Red Bull.
No, Apple don't do that for me.
What's drinking an apple?
You know what? I can't front though, because you know what? Coffee doesn't give me really a joke. It makes me it's warm. Get that old man you know how back in the day your grandparents probably give you a little something warm and put you to sleep. It kind of did that for me. Like coffee doesn't get like one. I don't really like the taste of it. So when I do drink, I drink like a candy bar, and I ain't trying to do that. So when I do have it, it's kind of like I get all warm inside. I'm like, I'm nice and relaxed. I don't get like like took a hit of Coke or something. I don't get that reaction.
I think that helps you too. I mean, I'm like you. I'm not much of a coffee drinker, just the taste of it.
Yeah,
but yeah, there are times though where I know, like when I've worked early jobs and stuff, I've had to use it. Like,
yeah,
it does something to you. It does keep you up. It may be like it may be an artificial thing, but it keeps. I know it's kept me up at times without eating it.
Like at the old gig, like way before you had came there, because we used to have to do we had to work a weekend, and I was like, I'm not losing my weekend. So our manager was like, well, you can come in at midnight and do your job, like from midnight to like 8:30 or midnight to 8 or something like that. I'm like, bet, boom, I do it. So I would just drive down to the gig on Michigan. I parked because it was free because it was overnight. I think I had to pay maybe a little money by the time like 6 o'clock or something like that came around, you know what I'm saying, because of the meters. But I had a thing of Folgers, instant coffee, like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to knock out this day, whatever. It's just me in here. Maybe there's one weirdo with light shining on him. We both.
I don't know how many people were there.
Oh, man, it wasn't that many, right? It was in that big old room when we was back on Michigan. So, but that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to start drinking a little coffee to kind of keep me up. Man, I would get so sleepy. I was like, I ain't doing this no more. I mean, I did the day, but I stopped drinking the coffee. I'm like, the coffee ain't really, it wasn't helping me. So I just had to power through it. I come home, get some sleep, get right back and go back down there. But I was like, I refuse to give up my Saturdays. I'll come down here at midnight.
That was back when you wanted those Saturdays.
Hell yeah. I was like 24, 23, 24. Like I was trying to get out in these streets. Like I come out here, I work from 12 to 8 o'clock, whatever like that. Go back home, sleep till like 1 o'clock. Hey, what's up? Where we at? And I still got my weekend. You know what I'm saying? That's where I looked at. I couldn't do that shit now. But hell yeah, that's what I did. Yeah. But
I think at certain points in the day, I guess your body just is it's gonna be harder for anything to get your body going. You know, your body gonna want some sleep.
Yeah.
And at those working like third shift gigs, you know, that's you got to get your sleep during the day, because you don't do shit during them.
Well, someone who worked 14 months overnights.
Yeah, you know that. We definitely know.
Yeah, that was my last W-2 job. And to Demond's point, coffee put me to sleep. I was drinking I transitioned from Monster because Monster dehydrates you. I mean, no, Red Bull dehydrates you. So I started drinking Monster, the white cans. And I was drinking the tall boys to keep me awake.
You didn't get to the Four Loko?
No, I don't even know. No, I haven't tried Four Loko. I thought Four Loko had alcohol in it.
Does it? I don't know. I never had one before.
It has it's got some mess in it you don't need to mess with. I know that.
Okay, I thought Four Loko had alcohol in it, which is why I couldn't do it anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I was drinking like the tall boys.
Just joking.
Now I can remember. I mean, it's been a minute. But no, I would go do that, and I'd probably be averaging like 5 hours of sleep a day. So,
Dave had a rough period, man, with that job.
Yeah.
Money was good.
I bet it was.
What was I gonna say? The last time we went out for you. Was it this past year? Well, it wouldn't have been this past year. It would have been a year before. We went out for his birthday or something. And it was one of the days I left.
My birthday?
What was that we went to?
Oh yeah, we were all together. We was at
you talking about we were this past year?
Yeah, this past year. Yeah.
No,
was it the Heroes?
No, it wasn't your birthday. It wasn't your birthday. It was something else. When we went to
where we go?
3rd Street, Hyde Park. I draw a blank because we left there. We were with Terrence.
Oh, that was the year before. Yeah, that was the year before.
So that would have been. So was that 19?
Yeah, 19. Yeah. That was the year before this. That was the year before this year. They didn't seem that long. It didn't seem like it was 2 years ago. The one and then we ended up at that terrible restaurant on Roosevelt and Canal. Why am I drawing like?
Yeah,
the White Palace.
White Palace.
White Palace.
Did you say it was terrible? Hey, you said White Palace is terrible.
If you have a choice between going to White Palace and cooking at home, you should go cook at home.
Not at 3 in the morning.
Not at 3 in the morning, Dave.
Listen. If you can't avoid, unless it's something where you got to worry about waking people up, go cook at home.
Dude, I remember one time.
They cook out the can at White Palace.
Wait a minute. I remember one night.
Like a step up above White Castle.
Oh, that's good. That's better than what I do at that time.
Yeah, basically. Wait a minute. Real quick White Palace story. So me and the missus were out one night. I forgot where we went. So it was like, man, you want some White Palace? I was like, yeah, let's go get some White Palace. So we up in there. Oh, dude, Lord. The lights went out. The lights went out
in White Palace.
The lights went out in White Palace. So everybody was like,
scary.
"Oh no,
folks still eating. Folks still eating. It was a thunderstorm. Folks still eating. Lights went out. So then everybody was like, so yeah, I got a credit card. How am I going to pay you?" So then folks was like looking around like, so who gonna run out this motherfucker first? So like, damn, on some savage shit. But nobody did it. But it was just kind of wild because it was like, so yeah, how are we supposed to pay? Because nowadays not that many people have cash on them, so everybody playing with a card.
Did you hear that song from Adrenaline Rush in the background?
I can just imagine though. I can just imagine the light going off in White Palace. That'd be the closest dining experience. That'd be like if they made a theme restaurant of the Warriors.
Basically.
Oh, that's great.
Basically. And coming in with bottles clicking and everything, old school. Yeah, everybody out there watching from Chicago, White Palace is a Chicago staple in the South. Was that South Loop? Yeah, South Loop, right?
Yeah, South Loop, yeah.
South Loop area, whatever like that. Yeah, off Canal and Roosevelt. Oh man, it has been there forever.
It's the dive. It's the dive restaurant of dive restaurants, and like you say, if it's 3 a.m. Yeah, if it's 3 a.m. and you're anywhere south of Madison Avenue, that's probably the easiest place to get some food. But you get what you pay for. That's what
you do. Hey, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, man. You can't be that shoes. You can't be. It's like leaving the club. Lights come on. Hey,
take your ass home.
Hey, sometimes you want to leave a little something.
It's called Take Your Ass Home is what it's called.
Sometimes Dave, sometimes you want to leave a little something. I want to leave a little something.
Yeah. That's likely going to be the last time
to undo them past sins.
I got a lot of undo sins. I got a lot of undo.
He working out for a spirit.
For the past culinary sins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's probably going to be the last time I'm out that late for my birthday too, because we didn't do that when we hung out this past year.
Yeah,
we wasn't out that late.
Outside.
Yeah, that was a bad weather night. Yeah, but that was about 3.
I remember that.
We talking about last year. We talking about last year, cousin. This year, I think it was like a thunderstorm. Well, this past year.
This past January, which seems like 2 years ago, but yeah.
Basically. It was like a real bad. Was it a thunderstorm or was it snow? Which one was it?
It was like a mix of it was snow.
Okay.
It might have started out as rain though, but it like turned into snow. Like, it was a weird night.
It was a weird night.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
Probably it was one of the more chill ones. I mean, it wasn't just like going from. Why am I drawing a blank on 53rd Street? What is the name of the place? Dang it, you know what I'm talking about.
The Promontory? You've been here. You've been gone for a while. The Promontory,
No, prominatory. No, I'm just because my brain is defaulting to Shrine. I knew it wasn't Shrine. Shrine's been gone for a decade or for a while now. So
yeah, they 53rd.
No, it was prominatory.
Yeah.
No, yeah. It's only two places that was. We ain't that old. It's only two places worth going to over the past 10 years, and I think it probably would have been the prominatory, and it would have been the Shrine.
Who y'all see in the prominatory?
Mine defaulted to their theme.
Not
nobody.
The promontory that night was a birthday party thing that I was involved in. Like,
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That was at the promontory. Yeah, we left that early though.
Yeah, and where did we end up in between there and White Palace? Because there was somewhere we ended up in between
White Palace. Not God. It's that arcade spot in over in Fulton.
Right. Yeah. That was fun. That was fun. Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, we got to think of these things now because you can't do these things anymore. So you can't be in places inside where there are more than 3 people.
Right, and you see the numbers of COVID today. First time in since the U.S. has been going through it in the past, what has been like 8-9 months, something like that, 7-8 months. 100,000 people contracted just today. Yeah. Never happened. 100,000 people just today. So because you and I will be in the house. 100,000.
About 1,000 Trump voters seem to die every day, but he still got like 45% of the electorate for some reason.
I don't get it. Whoa, let's be honest. Let's be honest though. I tweeted this out earlier. We won't get to a little bit of election talk real quick. I tweeted this out earlier today. This election has validated 2 things to me. The 3 of us on this show right now, we know it, but it just kind of like just gave it that stamp. Boom, like asses. Yes, this is what it is.
Yeah.
So half of this country wants to be governed or ruled or wants to be followers to a wannabe autocrat / dictator that doesn't care about minorities and women. That's number 1. And number 2, based on what we're going through right now with these votes, this should be a blaring siren, red lights flashing sign. Take your ass out and vote. If you got to vote by mail or you got to vote in person, because it's coming down to the slimmest of margins. Whoever wins, because I've come to the realization that Trump can still win this. It's possible. Less likely, very less likely, but possible.
Yeah.
And I understand that. And I've accepted. I have accepted that, right? Not a fan of his, not a follower, whatever. But if Biden does win, and an asterisk to this in a sense, little footnote, he's Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, 71 million votes. They have been able to get 71 million votes, most in the United States history, in the history of America. But he still might be able to, based on electoral college vote, only beat Trump by a margin, by a slim margin. Take your ass out and vote. That I don't know how this election couldn't be.
It's not an argument. Yeah, there's nothing behind that anymore. To say that your vote doesn't count, that means nothing now in the face of what happened in this election. You better vote if you just got to, because every vote counts. Every vote has to count now because we have a person in office for the time being whose aim is to completely discredit the whole process.
Right.
So you got to vote.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I look at that.
I mean,
like you said. Go ahead, Dave.
I was gonna say at this point, that's kind of a moot point, right? Or is it, I mean, unless your stuff is still being counted. right now. Right. I mean, as far as the need to vote, as far as in this particular election.
Yeah. I'm just speaking. We just speaking to those who have been like, oh, like you've had people who come out this year and voted, 30, 40-year-old people who have voted for the first time saying, I never voted before because I didn't think my vote mattered. No, your vote has always mattered. Mm-hmm. And it matters more now than ever.
Yeah. Look at Detroit. Look at Atlanta. Look at Phoenix. Look at these places that we didn't. Look at Philadelphia. I mean, we knew Pennsylvania is going to be kind of is a battleground state. But look at the turnout and look at the black turnout. Although, I don't know if you want to talk about this later because of how many black people actually voted for Trump. But small amount, but bigger than what we expected, right? But look at these cities.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But look at these cities. I mean, how many people in Atlanta in the ATL thought, yeah, we probably got a shot, but yeah, we know we're going to flood it. Biden can possibly win Georgia by tonight or tomorrow. Same thing in Phoenix. The reason why Joe Biden won Michigan is because of the black turnout in Detroit. So it just shows you like your vote matters. You never know. You never, ever, ever know what can happen. Get your ass out there to the polls.
Definitely.
It's funny you brought up Detroit, D. That's something that's always an issue with, like, it's just from a family standpoint, just getting some family members to see kind of the value of voting. Mm-hmm. So but you definitely made some good points. I mean, the black vote for Trump is always an interesting thing, and you always cringe when somebody else who's not black bring that up. My wife bring up, did you see 18% of black men voted for Trump? I'm like, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, some black men still eat pork and cheat on their old lady. I can't I don't know what to say.
That was a good. I can't. I looked at a lot of different things last night, and Trevor Noah had a good segment on with a professor from I forget her name, but she's a real smart lady, a professor from University of North Carolina, and they spoke to that exactly about how for some black men, they prioritize their masculinity and their ambition for equal plane of authority is something that you can see it. I think you can see it in a lot of brothers where it's like where they feel that women have their place, sisters included, and then they just don't prioritize a lot of the same progressive values. Like, and she spoke to the tradition of conservatism, of streaks of conservatism that do exist in the black community, and I don't think that's something that we can argue. Because there's conservatism that exists in the black community, and there's retrograde thinking and a lot of different things that we just aren't going to be able to shake. And it's like we said in past shows, we aren't a monolith in our thinking, so we just got to deal with it. Some folks, for some black folks, no matter how much it may seem that the other side is just plain evil and incompetent, their conservatism and the GOP is going to have some appeal to some black folks out there.
Yeah, I mean, agree, but like I said, and I understand being, some of our people just, to your point, backwards. But at the same time, last time I checked, Joe Biden was still a man, and as far as Kamala Harris is not president. I can understand a lot of the animus against Hillary Clinton during the last time, but Joe Biden is a man the same way Trump is. I mean, if you're arguing about who deals with what, you could say that the Trump organization is largely run by not even Trump as much as it is his daughter, but those are things that they don't look at when they also look at Trump for some reason as a self-made man, which that's the biggest lie of all time.
Biggest lie.
I don't think we got to that article we were supposed to talk about last time about the Trump Tower deal. His failure to pay his debts on that one. It's just like there's nothing about this man that is a success in any form. Unless his success at failing upwards is considered a skill that we should all emulate, and it shouldn't. I mean, everyone doesn't have the support that he has. He doesn't have the relationships that he has. They don't have access to capital he has. I mean, honestly, you wouldn't even know who Donald Trump was if it wasn't for his father's backing.
Exactly.
And I think that book his niece put out really spoke to that. That ultimately the money man was his dad.
Most people, if they ignore stuff like that, or they discredit it as as
it's not being
propaganda from nonsense. The left wing. Yeah, they liberal nonsense. and the ones who may accept that he's had certain failures as a businessman and whatever, but they probably chalk up his continued success to outthinking people or being a hustler in some way, or just getting around the system in a way that they admire as well. It's like people just find ways to admire Trump, and it's amazing how people find ways to admire him, period. But people who just are down for him just do not let go for some reason. They just
but you know what, cuz that's the sign of a great con man. To have you keep coming back. He's a con man. He's a con man that came out the wrong. He's a con man that was born into the right family. And by the right family, I mean financially, with capital, right? This dude is a natural con man, and his father, the Klansman, wasn't no better than him. And his father had a ton of capital and gave his son all his capital. He ran all of it into the ground. I wouldn't trust. It's like me going to a dude to do my brakes, and every time I drive, I keep smashing my shit because my brakes keep going out. But I keep kicking my car back and telling, "Hey man, I need your brakes." Like, dude, what are you doing? You can't do
that. It's really funny that you brought up the luxury car. That you brought up the analogy, because that's what the analogy I was going to make is like Trump is like a luxury car, like a luxury car with just terrible mechanics. I'm trying to think of like a car that an analogy for. I don't even know. It's like having a Pinto, but with like a town car body. That's kind of what he is. I mean, he's just like a terrible luxury car.
A Pinto wrapped around a
Pinto
inside. A Pinto inside.
Yeah.
I'm saying like a Pinto
engine in a Cadillac or something like that. And I got a Cadillac DeVille, but man, I got this 4-cylinder Pinto engine. Like, man, your shit ain't going nowhere. It looks nice, but it ain't going nowhere. And that's kind of the same thing. But it's still a Cadillac on the inside, on the outside, and people want to mess with it. Oh man, and that's the same thing. But eventually, exactly.
That's and that's what I was going to say too about the appeal. I think with black men or men in particular with Trump, like a lot of it is bluster. A lot of it is the presentation, and they don't think about how much of a puppet or he may be in some ways in regards to he's dependent on people like you say, like his daughter, like Bill Barr, like at people who really hold up the work that is being done to do things like that that the substantive things that are being done by that by the White House right now, the things that they've done to get the Amy Coney Barrett in and stuff like that. And you can extend this to Mitt McConnell has played a big role too, and just getting done things that he has promised to his base. Because if it was left up to him, wouldn't nothing get done because he has no thought. He has no thought process. Yeah,
but I think McConnell used him. So this is what I'm thinking. I think McConnell will go down as one of the most. I don't want to say best as in he did something great, but he's going to go down as one of the best, shrewdest politicians in American history. He saw this dude who is a con man, but who can bring out a base that hasn't been brought out in decades. Okay, I can use you to keep my Senate so I can do everything that I want to do. You see, Trump never got the wall built with the Mexican money. It's a lot of things. He never got a health care plan because they couldn't figure it out. The Republicans couldn't figure it out. It's probably a list of things I can go down saying Trump said he was going to do, but he never got done. But the one person who got something done out of all these 4 years has been Mitch McConnell. Federal judges, Supreme Court judges, tax returns. I mean, not tax returns, tax cuts. He used him like a fiddle. So when he loses, which I think he is going to lose, and I know Trump is going to pitch a bitch about it, I honestly think, if anybody, McConnell is going to go over there and be like, dude, you lost. You out of here. I've used you up. You gotta go. I can't use you no more. And I think if anybody, am I saying he's Dick Cheney? No, because I think Cheney had a little bit more power because he was in the executive branch. But he's smart. Cheney
was much more of a
He was a power dude, but it's different. With McConnell, I mean, he's laid out the courts for the next like 50, 60 years. He's dead and gone the next whenever. I'm not wishing death upon him and anything like that. But when he's dead and gone, his legacy is still going to be there. We want to get judges between the ages of 35 and 45 who won't be on these benches for their life. And I'm going to use this dude who can get this base in, who can get the votes in. But after I've used him up, well, I don't need him no more. There's no reason for him to stay. Be gone. That's my prediction.
I agree with everything you're saying. You know, outside of him, running out of use for Trump, I'm pretty sure the Republicans have other policies they can use him for. But if he's gone, then they got to figure out something else.
But he's gonna be gone though, probably.
No. This is what I wanted to go to. This is why I'm glad DeMond said that. I'm trying to bring up this. I don't know if I saw it in a tweet or an article or something, but I saw somebody have mentioned the situation that's we're seeing now. Even with Biden winning, you're potentially seeing the Senate go their way. They're gonna have they got those three. Huh?
You talking about the Republicans going to keep the Senate?
Yeah, the Senate going the Republicans' way. The House is going likely go to the Democrats. It's not already there. Yeah,
it's there.
But the Senate, they're going to have the advantage. The Republicans are going to have the advantage in the Senate. They got the three conservative judges in during Trump's presidency, so they got this. They got the maximum. They got that super majority in the Supreme Court. They got the bunch of federal judges that's been appointed. Now with Trump, what I saw with the statement I saw pretty much said that Trump did his job. He got in things that they wouldn't have gotten if Hillary Clinton certainly was in office. He inflamed the base of the Republican Party to a point where they didn't match the record number of voters that came out to vote for the Democrats, but they got a higher number than they get typically. Mm-hmm. They have an inflamed voting base that is into what they're talking about right now. And regardless of whatever place that Trump has in the party going forward, he's going to be able to rally them however long he's around. He's going to be able to rally them to vote for other Republican people. So his role is he basically stewarded and fought back any type of revolution that the Democrats could have brought on post Obama. They completely stalled the momentum from.
I'll say I agree, but I was gonna say I agree, but I was gonna say one thing that's changed in the last couple of years is that there are states that were traditionally red that turned blue this year, which is Arizona, and almost turned blue this year, which is Texas. And if Texas,
that is encouraging
because one, it's one of the hugest amount of electoral votes, and there's some definitely power in the Senate there. So as these states change from majority white to more minority based, especially places like Texas, I think there'll be more of an influence in years to come where those Republican strongholds may change.
You're right. That is encouraging. We should credit people like Beto O'Rourke and Mark Kelly in Arizona for the work that they've done in
the Latino community out there in Arizona, man,
and helping those states get more progressive. Yeah, but I still think we should have advanced. We should have advanced more. When you look at the 8 years of Obama,
hold on. Go ahead.
But I'm just saying, when you look at the 20 years of politics that we've had, post Clinton, because again, you had the two most successful presidencies post Reagan have been Democrats, and in between that you had an inexplicable 8-year run for George W. So that held out some things, but again, the Democrats were able to turn that around with Obama. But when you look at the fact that, again, this may be the only time since 2000 that a Republican has had a majority vote in the popular election. I don't know where we're at with the popular vote exactly, but
you talking about this may be
this may be the only time.
Oh man, Biden got like 71.1. Trump got like 66 or 67, something like that. He's not going to win the popular.
So he's not going to get the popular. Okay, that continues something that's gone back to Gore, and they haven't won the popular votes. They've only gotten their elections through trickery in the courts, or the outdated electoral college system.
Bush got the popular vote in 2004, the year his second term. I think he won a popular vote. That's the only time in the past.
Okay, you bet. You're right.
7 to 8 terms, or 7 to 8 elections. That's the only time they received the popular vote, and that's
only time since Reagan. Yeah. So I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is that this nation, how much different would this nation be if there had been no Republican presidents since Reagan?
Oh man,
and that could have. That's the type of agenda that the Republicans have been fighting, because they know that their policies are less and less popular, and there's less and less people who really want what they have to offer. So that's why they resorted to the things they resorted to keep people in office. For them to get Trump in the office is a complete, it's you would say it's a miracle. It was a more positive thing, but it really was just a complete twisting of our system and its practices in order to fit their favor, and to hold off something that should have happened long time ago. They should have been forced to change their practices, their beliefs, and their policies to fit a modern society, but they haven't had to because they cheated, and they continue to cheat.
Now, I will say something to what you saw earlier, and you made your point. I'll put a caveat on it though. So this is why. I think, like you said, you think Trump is going to still be able to come out and galvanize, even if he's not in office. He'd be able to go out and do all these huge rallies, which he's been able to do even through a pandemic. Credit to him and his followers. They want to go out there and spread COVID, spread Rona like that, but they're going out there. He's getting thousands of people, right? Okay, fine. He's able to do that. He's able to really push it. The problem with that is you had enough white people, still went to Donald Trump, but you had enough white people peel off, kind of like cancel out the minorities who did vote for Trump, the little uptick in it, canceling them out, right? You had enough white people, and majority of them, I wouldn't be surprised, were Republicans, voted for Joe Biden. So now you got to think about it like this. Now you got to think about it like this. If you're a Republican, okay, this dude was probably going to lose a presidency. His challenger now has won the most popular, who has the popular vote, the most votes in American history. Do I still want to have candidates like him? Because you put something up, if you put somebody out there that's like him, you're going to have a sprinkle here and there, like the QAnon ladies that's in the House races, but they have no, but they don't have nobody running against them. So they just kind of walked into office, right? Okay, you have a few of those, but can you have anybody else like him? Because if you do that, you're going to keep those same white Republicans, white people, yeah, that were Republicans, you're going to keep them over in the Democratic Party. So that's probably not going to work. So
I think more likely, those people are more undecided.
See, but I don't think so. See, this goes into my next point. I don't think so. So I don't believe that the Republican Party is ever going to really be able to run a traditional candidate again. These kind of people, these followers of Trump, they didn't come out for Dole. They didn't come out for Bush. They didn't come out for McCain. They didn't come out for Mitt Romney. The one reason why I think Trump was able to win before in 2016, and while he's still in it, doesn't look like he's going to win, he's still in it, and was able to run up these crazy numbers, is because he's speaking to his base. He's speaking to them. They like him. They see him in them, or they see them in him, right? Whatever the phrase you want to say, right? I don't think a traditional Republican is going to be able to do that again. So where do you go if you're the Republican Party? They still want to put somebody out there, but it ain't going to be nobody like Trump. But if you still have Trump out there trying to trying to galvanize people, he's still going to be turning people off. So what do you do?
Go ahead, Dave.
I can tell you who they're going to put in 2024.
Who do you think?
I can tell you who they're going to put in 2024 as a guarantee. They're gonna put one. They're gonna go minority. They're gonna go with somebody. They're gonna go with somebody Hispanic. They're gonna go with somebody black, or they're gonna go with a woman. I mean, that's guaranteed. They already have to.
But will they be able to pull out? But Dave, will they be able to pull out the same voting base? And will they be able to bring the voting base that left them back in? You can't have both. The Republicans that went over to the Biden, the Republicans that went to Biden left because his crazy ass. But if you got to bring somebody crazy,
of course,
somebody in, they probably not going to win. So what do you do?
Okay, I got you. I feel what you're saying, cuz I feel what you're saying, cuz I got two things for that. I think for one, you can't. You're not going to put out another candidate like Trump, because there really isn't going to be another candidate like him yet. He's a singular. You're
100% right.
Yeah, he's a singular force in the history of American politics. There's not going to be another one like him. But what you have and what you're going to have with the Republicans, I think, is a smoothing out of that same messaging and that same platforming. But they're going to use it with a more, with a more mainstream candidate. They're going to use it with a person.
You think they're going to try to find a Robert?
They're going to give you. Yeah. And that's Reagan is a good example, because Reagan was a more electable version of the Nixon Republican. Nixon got himself elected, of course, but he also lost 2 times before he got elected. So it was hard road for him to get into the presidency. And then the revolution of the 70s happened. And of course, he got himself kicked out of office. So his whole thing was completely blasé and it was distasteful by the mid-70s. So to the point where the Democrats were able to get Carter in the office, and Carter wasn't very effective as a president. So that became a thing where the nation wanted they wanted a Republican again, but they didn't want Nixon. So they got a more electable Nixon in Reagan. And Reagan went off and did what he did. So the Republicans, again, they knew they couldn't win with a Bush or McCain. So they went. They knew they couldn't win with those guys anymore. So they got someone completely off the reservation. Mm-hmm. But now that they know how uncontrollable that person is, they still know he's effective, but they just know that they got to get a more controllable version of that. And so that's the guy that they're going to run in 24, or woman perhaps. Maybe they'll find a woman who could do that too. To Dave's point of reaching into the minority community and plucking out their great minority hope. They may do that, but I think the person that they're going to want to put as the leader of their party, they're going to have either an ability to campaign with Trump, or they're going to have to represent in some way the Trumpian values, because this speaks to another thing that I saw today. This from the New Yorker. It says Biden may win, but Trump is the president of Red America. So, yeah, there is an America that you have to. If you're the Republicans, you know that there's a whole nation that you don't have to campaign to at all. They don't have to campaign to Chicago. They don't have to campaign to New York. They just got to keep pounding the areas that have been red for the past few decades. And if they get a person who fits with Red America, but is clean enough to not make the rest of America, to make enough of the rest of America not feel nervous around them, then that's where they're going to go with.
But I think Dave's point when he was talking about the red, but about the diversity of the like Arizona or Texas, I get what you're saying, but I think that's when Dave's point. I think that's when that might take effect. Okay, can they keep Texas? Can they keep Arizona? Can they keep some of these? Can it eventually? Were you able to keep Georgia?
They can't take. They can't take those as granted anymore. They can't take they can't take certain states for granted anymore. And the reason why Arizona ended up going blue was because he ended up, one, he pissed off like Republicans like Jeff Flake, and then two, he also talked crap about.
But that's what I'm saying though. That's what I'm saying though, man. You get the Trumpian person for the base, but you massage the messaging. You don't give them the rawness anymore. You have to make it just better presentable.
That's what that red meat, man.
That's what parties are for.
But I was gonna say, once you get somebody that red, and they don't want no tofu again. That's my whole.
So, yeah, I agree with.
I just think that the Republicans know that they have to evolve the messaging, and they're not gonna like I said, because you can't put out another Trump again. You have to take the good things, the things that you know worked from running Trump, and use that as like you have a Terminator, then you make a T-1000. You're not gonna make another Terminator. You make a T-1000. You're not just gonna make the same model each year. They're gonna make an even worse Terminator.
Go ahead, Dave.
While I agree with that, I think the issue with Trump, and I mean not to compare him to like a Hitler or anything like that. I think the difference between Trump and maybe I'm not far off with it, is he's a bit of a demagogue, and what ends up happening, I think, where the Republican Party. Where you said about Republican Party is, creating a more polished version of Trump. Trump was never in their control in the first place. With limited exception, he was never in control. He was a bit.
I said he wasn't. I said that's what I said, Dave. That's what was the issue. He wasn't controllable. They're going to make a controllable version.
Right, but also to the point that the second part of what I was going to say is that I think that the jury is out on what Trump's base is going to look like in 4 years. I don't personally think that Trump's base is going to have the same values or priorities in 4 years. I think
why wouldn't we
have an economy that's transition.
They got the same. They have the same values that they had 4 years ago.
Well, I think that COVID has not done enough damage and has not ravaged their communities enough. They've ravaged African American and Hispanic communities at a disproportionate rate. Once it starts ravaging their communities and being and spreading, is one thing being, a carrier and it being inert to the point where it actually adversely affects you and kills you, or makes you sick. I think that in the upcoming year that you're going to see more prevalence of the actual COVID affecting their communities more disproportionately, and then two, being the fact that a lot of their communities tend to not have the best healthcare options. I think it's going to affect some of their minds. I think affect them. I think it's going to change. I think when certain things happen to you, and I don't care if they say it, people say it vocally, but I think that if it happens, once it touches your family, I think it will change your mindset towards it. And even some Republicans why they've kind of stepped away from Trump is his of COVID.
I agree. I agree in the general sense, Dave. But I've seen a picture of a lady at a Trump rally who had a shirt that said her son died from COVID, but she still was riding with Trump. So there's a good deal of people out here who are just twisted. They're completely twisted.
Yeah.
I mean, but we kind of seen that, but we kind of saw the effect. But exactly, Dave. But to Dave's point, though, I think that's why we saw, as I brought before, you saw a good percentage, not a lot, but enough percentage of white, probably Republicans, move away from him. Also within that group, I bet we saw some white electors, could have been independents, could have been Democrats who voted for Trump and then went back to Biden. I'm sure COVID had a hand in the moving them over.
Definitely,
it's no question. So if COVID is still ravaging the way that it's ravaging right now, as I said before, 100,000 cases were reported today, and it's only escalating or accelerating. It could start to really ravage the Midwestern Southern states, and that's where it's really hitting them. So I don't know. I'm curious to see if Dave's point does play out. I didn't think about it like that. That the after effect, the negative after effect, how it's going to affect those communities. Are they still going to roll with somebody?
Well, what we're going to
that's an interesting point.
That definitely could be the case. What's going to be
because I want to share
is messaging and what the party.
I froze.
Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
What I was going to, the analogy is that I was going to use is that.
Let's say.
No, because you kind of freezing up, Kyle. Go ahead, Dave.
I'm not seeing any freeze from y'all. I don't know why y'all see it for me, but.
No, the only thing I was going to say, and the only reason why I mentioned that is that when Obama became president in 2008, the true fallout from the recession hadn't occurred yet. I mean, and that's why I think with like COVID, same thing. I don't think we're at the peak yet.
Okay.
So,
to that degree, it's going to be imperative that a Biden presidency, they have to handle the fallout from COVID with a particular degree of success, and they have to allow if there are some further difficulties that occur in the next year or two, they have to keep the Republicans from putting the stench of failure onto Biden, because they're gonna turn around and say, look, you voted Biden to get rid of this disease and to steer the ship, and if they don't do it in a particular way, they're gonna paint Biden with the stench of failure, and that's gonna be used in 2024.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, you're 100% right about that. They have to be able to. Biden and Harris have to be able to navigate the COVID response how Obama and Biden navigated the recession response, the auto bailout. I mean, the auto saving or bailout, whatever you want to call it. They got to navigate it the same kind of way. They got to be able to say the next 4 years if Biden does run again, hey, listen. At one point in time, we was having the day that we thought, saying we clinched the presidency, there was 100,000 cases of COVID. Now what we're seeing X amount of months later, there's only 100 cases nationally a day. They got to be able to do it like that. Now, the only thing that's different about this, going from a recession, dealing with banks and money, and be able to just kind of flood the market with capital and kind of work your way out of it. You're dealing with folks who don't believe in it, who don't believe COVID. You're dealing with folks who want to put their lives at risk just to make money. You still got, as you said, Cuzzo, before with Donald Trump, he's still going to be out there saying all kind of crazy shit it's not that bad. Fauci, he's gonna be pissing inside the circus tent now. He was once in the circus, but now his ass is out, and now he's gonna be pissing inside of it. So now you have to deal with all these different kind of factors. You're not dealing with money. Now you're dealing with people's psychology. Now you're dealing with their psyche, their health. Yeah. I got to be able to convince these folks just to wear a mask. But for the past year, this dude over here was mocking people and talking about injecting disinfectant to your body. How the fuck am I supposed to be able to fix that shit? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what he has to. I mean, he had. I don't wish this. I know Biden ran for this, and he's going to win with him and Senator Harris. But I don't wish this upon. This is going to be a shit show for the first year and a half. Just dealing with COVID,
it's gonna be hard.
And dealing with the crazy motherfuckers that don't believe in COVID. That alone, not dealing with McConnell, not dealing with China, not dealing with Russia, dealing with these crazy MFers here that don't want to wear a mask. That's going to be their toughest thing to try to corral. But if they do it, if they be able to corral this within a year, maybe by 2022, the top of the year, we start to see diminishing cases to the point of no cases, then it's going to be an easier trek for him during re-election. But it's going to be hard.
That's going to take the enacting of a national policy.
It has to, and they're going to be fighting against it.
Yeah, and right, like you're exactly right, cuz that's why if Biden could do that, it'll be a historical victory for him.
Yes.
But he has to try because
he's gonna try.
He has to try because Trump didn't try at all. If he's gonna make an impact, he's got to do the opposite of Trump. That's the best thing about following Trump. All you gotta do is do the opposite of what he does. So your game plan is pretty easy in that way.
Yeah, you see what happens.
You got anything else?
It's easy. No, I was gonna say it's easy, but if you're facing a Republican Senate who's going to try to stonewall you, I think that's the only potential.
Well, the execution. I'm just talking about game planning. I ain't talking about the execution.
You know what?
I'm just talking about the game plan.
I just thought of something, Dave. You just brought this up with the Republican Senate. I bet you, I have a good feeling about this. I bet you they go along with Joe Biden with the whole COVID response. They didn't want to mess with Trump with this COVID response, really. The way they kind of let him go out there and be a wild man and say all this kind of crazy shit. They didn't try to reel him in, but whenever they asked him, so what do you think about this? Well, I think you should wear a mask. I think you should wash your hands. McConnell hasn't been to the White House since COVID started. And he came out saying they wasn't doing what they're supposed to be doing over there. So if Biden does come in, they're saying he win, we think he's going to win. And I think he'll be able to convince McConnell and the Republicans, listen, we gotta fix this shit because ain't none of us gonna really be here physically if this keeps going. I think McConnell in the Senate will work with Biden on a COVID response, federal wise, mandate wise. I think they are rocking. Their base might not like it. That'll be tricky for the base. I mean, that'll be tricky for McConnell.
That's gonna be the problem.
They might not like it, but you know what? I have a good feeling McConnell is going to be like, we got to do this, y'all. I'm sorry, you crazy MFers. Get back into the closet for a few months. We got to do this to save the country because if it's keep going up like this, what can you really say? You can't keep going around talking about I don't wear a mask. 100,000 people just caught COVID today. So
yeah, we got.
I don't think it matters.
Impacted by
some people.
Yeah. Some people ain't gonna care.
For some people, it won't matter. Yeah, it won't. But I think in regards to what politicians do, what certain politicians do, you probably gonna be looking towards who's in the midterm elections in 22, and who's going to be what areas of the country are continue to be affected, by COVID more. If they're flame ups in other areas of the country, like we've seen recently here in the Midwest, if it goes into other areas and with similar fervor and all that, and we just got to see how who's going to be in, because everything's going to be based around who's going to be up for election and who's going to be under the most pressure, who's going to have the most competition with their constituency. That's the way that they react to things.
Hey, I just saw a tweet just came across, kind of sticking with not with COVID, but with the election. Just got a tweet. Trump leading in Pennsylvania is now down to under 3%. And the vote tally between the two is 182. There are still 763,311 mail-in ballots left to be counted. Biden needs to win those remaining ballots 62-38 or better to take Pennsylvania. And right now he's on pace to do that. So, he came out and said he think they're going to win Biden. I mean, Pennsylvania.
It was said that was going to be the likelihood because,
who's in court?
But he's also in the court trying to stop it. Trump's also in the
court. That ain't gonna happen.
Stop him from counting the ballots.
How the hell you gonna help? How you gonna tell somebody stop counting the votes? Nah, dude.
Right? Hopefully he's not allowed to that degree. I mean, it's really not like that's just the whole. What did y'all think about? Because I guess Demons, you said earlier you wasn't even up at that point, but he comes on at about 2 a.m.
Oh yeah,
that's when he made the speech saying that that they were going to fight. They had the lawyers ready, and that basically he's won. He said what everybody was fearing that he was going to say. That basically he won. Yeah, we knew he was going to say it, but he actually go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking of what's his name, the Wolf of Wall Street, DiCaprio's speech at the end when the SEC told him he had to step down, and he's like, "I'm not going, doing it." right, yeah. That's a good comparison. That's a good comparison. Yeah. He was that was that same moment. Like, I'm not gonna say it, but I gotta say it. I was saying because he was riling up the people just like. Like Jordan Belfort was riling up that office. He was like, "We gotta sue them. We gotta take it to the courts." Yeah, that's a good comparison. I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, that's Trump for you, man. But he says these things and he has these thought processes in his head that aren't based in reality. So it's like Pence had to come right after him and say, well, we respect the voting process. He had to clean it up right away.
So, hold on, y'all. Now we respect the process.
Yeah.
And don't listen to Grandpa.
Pence used to be a lawyer.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, right.
Attorney, so I mean,
and a radio talk show host. So he knows how to communicate, to try to filter shit out. You probably get a crazy ass caller, and then he has to be able to kind of like, what he was trying to say, try to smooth it out. No, you know what?
But Pence is the radio. Pence is the radio. The radio host, and Trump is the crazy caller from Carmel, Indiana.
That's been his whole role. That's been his whole role this entire time. Trump say some crazy shit, and then Pitts come back around. Well, but I mean, he had to smooth it out. But
long time, Mike.
Yeah, first time. Wait, so I didn't see the speech, but obviously I woke up and I saw the first thing I actually saw were Republican analysts criticizing Trump that he said that. So it's like, okay, interesting. You know what I'm saying? Y'all kind of push it back because they know, because they're actually political lifers. This is what they've been doing all their life. This dude basically ran down and trying to discredit the first black president, threw that fishing line out there to see the Republican Party like it. They bid it, reeling in, and it brung his ass to the White House, right? So he's not a political dude. He doesn't have any ethics. He doesn't have any morals. He doesn't understand. He
don't respect none of the rules. None of the rules. None of the traditions. That's not who.
This is not his bag. This is not what he does, right? So he goes out and make this crazy ass speech.
He's White Marlowe.
He's White Marlowe.
White Marlowe.
Yeah.
White Marlowe.
So now you go out there, you make this crazy ass speech. And then now it's kind of like, so now I'm sure everybody's like, now what I got? Now what we gonna do with this crazy motherfucker? He's going out there talking about I won.
There we go. See, in that time, they're thinking like, okay, now he's enacted all the crazies now. So now we're gonna have protests on the steps of the Supreme Court now and everything. And like and you saw the fools in Detroit running up on the offices there. Like there's all these little inflagrations that are going to be popping up now across the country because of what he's saying, man. That's what they're working out.
Yeah, but they're so dumb. They're saying stop the vote. Hey, you fucking morons! If you stop the vote, Biden's in the lead. You're still gonna lose.
Right.
You're still gonna lose.
Let's stop the vote while Biden is ahead in the popular vote and the electoral college.
How dumb are you? And all of this, let's not forget this too. All of this headache that we're having, or stress we're having about waiting this out, is all because of the Republican legislation or legislative houses in these states. The Democrats asked, will you please count the votes when they come in? Nope. They so worried about blocking all these black folks and all these Democratic areas from getting their votes in. Now you're like, oh shit, why is it taking so long? Oh, well, why is this? Stop the vote. You did this to yourself. It's like you smacking a kid with their own hand. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
They were so worried. They so worried about the game being rigged that all they was doing was trying to make a self-fulfilling prophecy. They didn't think they knew that they got was so whack that they was like, we got to put this rig game in motion before the game is even set, because I got
known this since Ukraine. Let's not forget this either. The man was impeached because he tried to get Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden wrapped up in some bullshit with Ukraine, and we found out that it wasn't true. This dude has been trying to pull this since Joe Biden said he was going to.
Oh yeah,
he knew what was going to happen. He knew what was going to happen, and it happened. And they've been saying it forever. Man, Joe Biden. People like Joe Biden. You know, maybe not the young ones who want to rock with Bernie Sanders and all that. Maybe they not fuck with him, but the folks that vote, the old black folks,
like him,
the old white folks that like him. Oh yeah, I like me some Joe Biden. Them motherfuckers vote. And he's known as since then. He was impeached over all this. And now he's trying to throw lawsuits out, trying to stop the dude. Just take your L.
Imagine if Joe and imagine like Demaz, you watch Seinfeld, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Imagine if Joe and Donald was running for president of Del Boca Vista.
Oh man, it's so cold in here. It's 4 o'clock. It's dinner time. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like who the old folks would be much more inclined to rock with both. Like if you that's really how this election should have came down to. They should have just, all the rest of us shouldn't even been involved with. It should have just been them talking to old people in old folks' homes for the last 9 months. It should have been like we. No, Dave,
you definitely go.
Don't step on my bit here. I'm trying to do a bit here, but no.
Okay, sorry.
I'm saying though, the appeal would have been different. Why do you think that would have been right? Because you think the old folks would have rocked more with Trump than Biden? I'm saying Biden would have won all them old. He'd have won clearly with old folks, as opposed to a general election.
No, so they put out a study. My wife sent it to me. That said just really that the older you are, the more susceptible you are to disinformation. And ultimately, the Trump campaign is run heavy on disinformation, and they tend to be more, they're inclined to share disinformation than younger, people as well.
That's true.
Just kind of the conversations that I have with my father-in-law, who has a large, senior base that he tends to as a doctor. He just shares what a lot of their fears are. A lot of their fears are that Biden's going to take away a lot of their entitlements. I mean, just benefits based upon really misinformation that the Trump campaign is, disseminated among
socialist benefits,
uneducated. I mean, just like everything that and they tend to be the more.
But can you imagine though? Like it's 3:00 in the what they have, like the activities room or something.
Yeah. Shuffle.
Yeah. Biden's chilling in there. He's got the glasses on. He's holding your hand, telling you, I'm going to take care of you for the next 4 years. We're going to make sure that your grandsons and granddaughters are able to come in here because we're going to get the COVID off of you. Trump is over there in the corner, is screaming about which pills to take and everything. It's somebody.
No. He had COVID. He has COVID. And he's in everybody's face. Hey, motherfucker! Like, motherfucker, you got COVID?
Get out of bed. I had COVID. I had COVID. What's wrong?
One is gonna be less. Yeah, on a 1-to-1, I'm pretty sure Trump wouldn't do as well.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about just the vote be. I'm talking about all the campaigning should have been in old folks' home. And we should have seen how they react. We could have envisioned how they react to each other and how the people reacted to them instead of them doing all this other stuff with all these driving. Biden was over did the drive-throughs. Trump was doing the dance. He was dancing to YMCA and every doing the.
What are you doing? What is this?
The double jag.
And here comes Little Pimp. You
got Little Pimp. He's the big
Little
deal.
Pimp, come out here, Little Pimp. Little Pimp, come out here. Laura Ingraham, you got a mask on.
He's supposed to leave the country.
Who is?
Are you talking about Little Pimp? He's supposed to leave the country he's supposed to leave if Trump loses. That's what he said.
Let me say something. I don't know what the hell a Little Pump is. What the hell is a Little Pump? What is that?
So I'm praying that he makes good on his word. Maybe he goes to Canada to keep Drake company. That's what I'm praying for.
He's gonna be up there with he's gonna be up there with old boy who shot Meg. They gonna make a super group of fuckboys.
I don't know what. Listen, I'm just glad that this is almost over. It's going to be very interesting.
Tory Lanez.
Yeah, Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez. Yeah, man, this is nuts, man. You know what? It's just kind of crazy. I always say this, like the times we're living in. I never would have expected in my life that we would be talking about this year alone. The passing of Kobe and everybody else who passed away due to COVID and other situations. And this president, a president who came on TV and said, "I want Michigan," and it was like 75% of the vote still out. It was 25% of the vote still out. Like who does that? Who says like I want Pennsylvania? Motherfucker, they didn't even count Philadelphia yet. How do you say these things? Like, how does that come out of your mouth? You know what I'm saying? It's wild, man. It's wild.
that's really the big legacy, I think, of his approach to politics, and I think regardless of how it's used by the Republicans going forward, you know, it's something that we're going to look back at this as a turning point where you can have a man or a woman, whoever runs for president, and actually gain ground by the complete spreading of disinformation.
I do want to see that, but there's
a great.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, I was just gonna say real quick. There's a great rock song that starts with, you know, I got something to say. It's better to burn out than fade away, and I think that's what Trump's mindset is.
Interesting.
Sorry,
I don't know. To your point, Dave, you had said about your father-in-law in his patients and how they're worried about Biden taking away their entitled older people. Listen, one thing I will say, Facebook. I want to see what Facebook is like 4 years from now, because basically what it is, it's a right wing older echo chamber. I mean, people still go on there and put pictures up and do whatever, yeah, but for the most part, it was used as disinformation, starting with the last election, and everybody that their top search people are like all crazy right-wing people, and it's skewing to older people who like just got a laptop for the first time, and like back in the day, remember you used to get email. They got email for the first time. It's like, I keep getting these emails talking about these conspiracies. I mean, these things going on. You know what I'm saying? Did you hear about this? You hear about that? That's basically Facebook now. So I'm curious to see, what is Facebook going to look like in 4 years, because is it still going to trend the way it's trending, or stay the way it's staying, like this echo chamber and all these old people, or is it going to eventually fade away or phase out like a MySpace, because all the younger kids are going to be going to something else? I'm very curious about how that's going to work, because Twitter seemed to be like they was on it. They was trying to tamp it down for the most part.
Yeah.
Facebook was on a whole nother universe. Like, I'm very curious what they're going to do. What it was going to look like, I should say.
I think what those two main options that you mentioned is going to be either one of those. I don't see Facebook having the same relevancy in 4 years that it has now, which and its relevancy has trended down since the previous 4 years. It's like, it's less about who's really in charge now, and it's less about what's relevant now, and it's more about just being, like you say, an echo chamber for similar thought processes, similar ideas, and a lot of misinformation. Like, you know, for people who aren't as well versed with social media, who aren't as well versed with technology, they can get messaging put to them on their phones, on their tablets, on their TVs that isn't that you know, it doesn't go through the proper channels of that responsible media provides. And it's they don't know, and a lot of people who are on Facebook all the time don't understand the difference between well vetted media and media that essentially is propaganda.
Exactly.
So, you know,
and it's so easy to get that.
Patriot News.
Yeah.
It's
Patriot News.
Yeah, it's so easy to get. It's so easy to see that. Now, I'm sure that the information still comes through Twitter, but you can still get caught up in that. But Facebook is like a whole other ball game.
And what sets Twitter apart, though, is their willingness to label information that it knows is bad and is They label the president's tweets as such.
All day today. All day today they've been labeling this shit because he's been saying wild shit. All day they've been having to flag his ass.
So, you know, they don't have a problem. Yeah. So they don't have a problem with doing that for individuals or media operations that put out bullshit. So that's what's going to allow Twitter to exist as a platform that people will be drawn to of all different types, and that helps keep it relevant. And there'll be other platforms too. Like I heard of this. Like I don't know if you guys have heard of the was it Chat House or something like that. It's let me look it up right quick. It's apparently it's something that's just popped up.
I know the WhatsApp is huge within the Latino community. They use the WhatsApp a lot. Now a lot of disinformation got into the WhatsApp too, but I don't know to what scale that it was really used. But I know that's a big platform too. And you also got to think about TikTok. And that was one of the things Mark Zuckerberg wanted to meet up with Trump to try to put the kibosh on that, because TikTok was like crushing Facebook. So
yeah, but I don't know. I'm trying to. Oh, give me a second. Just y'all just keep ripping for a sec. We're gonna wrap up soon, but let's keep
I know. Go ahead, Dave.
No, I was gonna say the only medium that I want to see Trump in, and like for the future, is probably like WWF. Outside of that, I don't see him anywhere else. If he ever comes,
he already done that.
I'll hop on the plane. But that's about
dude.
Well,
he has to worry.
Maybe like in his post-career life,
he has to worry about.
He needs to make money until he dies. So.
If Trump goes back to WWF, I want to see Roman Reigns smack him over the head with a steel chair.
I'm the tribal chief.
I don't care.
I'm the head of the table.
Whoever it is. If you see,
you want to see him with Roman Reigns, he'll get a good ass whooping that way.
No, wait a minute. I was about to say.
I don't care who it is. I just want to see him there. That's
all I want to see. He doesn't worry about not going to jail. He doesn't worry about not going to jail, Dave.
What did you say?
Oh, I was telling Dave, Trump needs to worry about not getting popped off and going to jail.
Who was the guy you was? Oh, sorry. Yeah, we all had that fantasy. I don't know if that's happening.
Civil lawsuits are coming.
The wrestler you were sending me with the. Yeah.
New Jack.
Civil lawsuit. He been dodging him for 4 decades. New Jack. I'd love to see him in New Jack. I think that would be like. Yeah,
ooh.
I definitely hop on plane to see New Jack.
New Jack cut up head ass come out there.
New Jack could pull out a shank and end them.
I know, right? This is the move. Hold on, let me see. Whiplash going to the rope. I'ma stab you. Go.
I'ma stab you. this kind of match gonna go, Trump. I'm gonna throw you the rope. I'm gonna put Rusty Bait in your ass.
Yeah. Come on, let's go outside. He gonna hug him up. Let's go outside. Okay, now you lay down here. I'm gonna go to the top of that ladder and jump on top of you. Ah! Yeah.
New Jack. This is fake, right, New Jack? Yeah, this is real fake, bro.
Yeah, this is real fake. Set your ass on fire. What are all these thumbtacks doing out here? Body slam, boom. Why are you setting me on fire?
Are they plastic, New Jack?
Why do you have that bat with barbed wire? Where's Vince?
Vince in the back. You told me to take
yeah. Oh boy, I'd pay anything to see that New Jack and Charles.
That would be something, Dave. That was Dave. That was the cherry on top of this conversation.
If
New
y'all
Jack
don't know
versus Trump.
If y'all don't know about New Jack, look up Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh my god,
on New Jack.
That dude.
Yeah, that if there is some sort of legal action against Trump, that would be what I would recommend as a steel cage match with New Jack.
Quick to end it out. Real quick, who was the wrestler that was stabbed to death down in the was it Puerto Rico?
Bruiser Brody.
Yeah. Oh, I would have loved to see if Bruiser Brody could have got his hands on Trump. Bruiser Brody was crazy to motherfucker.
Back in the 80s, they might have been some coke parties together.
Probably. Bruiser Brody was wild, man. I gotta catch up on Dark Side of the Ring, man. That is a phenomenal.
It's one of the best shows on TV, man. Whether you like wrestling or not, it's just great. It's just amazing stories.
The stories alone are just nuts.
We got to talk about. I want to do some TV talk, kind of to ease things out. We maybe do some of that next week. I'm gonna look to bring in a guy who actually worked on the polls for a couple weeks here in Chicago. My guy Gabriel. Do you may know him, Gave one, I think on
I think I follow him on Twitter.
Yeah. He used to do the radio show at DePaul and stuff. He's a good guy, but he worked on the polls for a couple weeks, like all the early polls and stuff. So I'm gonna try to get him on next week and talk about that experience and everything. He said he learned a lot doing that work. So that's look for that for next week, and maybe do some more less serious talk next week and try to get things back to, if not normal, at least a little bit more enjoyable around here. So
okay, all right, cool.
But yeah, that's it for now, man. Let's wrap it up. And Dave, the babies are coming for Dave, so it's about that time.
Out that time, on clockwork, on time, man.
Yeah, give the family our best, Dave.
Appreciate it. We'll do.
All right, man. Hey, D, man, appreciate it again, man.
Yeah, no doubt. I think I definitely want to talk to the guy who ran the polls, and then I'm gonna be off back into my cave.
We'll let you hibernate again after that.
Yeah. I'll go back to hibernation. But hey, for real though, everybody check me out on Twitter. That's where I'm usually posting some wild stuff, some random thoughts. Demons1, DEMONZE1, number 1.
Definitely follow Demons while we're still figuring out this president stuff. At least. So.
Yeah.
Dave, you got anything? Dave, I've been seeing you've been putting out some videos about rentals and stuff, ain't you?
Yeah, man.
You've been doing some side video hustling, man.
What was videos on what?
And I saw something. You had a video with some let's say with some people. Wasn't it about some rental stuff?
On what platform?
It might have been LinkedIn or something.
What platform?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. I'm always posting something on LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm always posting something on LinkedIn. That's where I'm most active. In my day job life. Yeah, so
trying to slang that property, man.
Yeah, man. Get that. I'm always posting something. Get that hot rental sale from Dave Evans in Long Beach.
Yeah. You can plug your stuff in, man.
We just do a weekly show in the morning. I guess 8:30 Pacific time, which is called Let's Get to the Point. And we post it. Actually, we do a Zoom call and then we post it later on in the day. We just talk about issues that kind of affect real estate in California. So we post that every Wednesday. We talk to someone who's California based who may invest here or may not, and the reasons why they go either way. And it's called Let's Get to the Point, and we post it Wednesday afternoon, early evening normally.
Nice.
So
that's what's up. Let's get to the point. That'd have been a good title for this show.
Yeah.
Let's get to the point.
That's why. Yeah, we run it a little shorter. We run like 30. We run about 30 minutes to an hour.
That's cool.
Okay.
On in the mornings. So
all right. That's cool, man. I'm glad you spreading your wings, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. But yeah, we'll be back next week.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll be back next week. WeAreRigoRadio.com. War on Anchor. Keep up with us on there. Keep up with everything that we do. The War Media Empire. We keep it on. We will last regardless of presidential trickery, and however peaceful the transfer of power is, we will be there to talk shit about it. So,
knife fight.
Keep up with it. All right. We'll holler at y'all. Stay peaceful out there.
All right. Peace.